Get started. And welcome, good evening, and welcome to the Town Board of the Town of Austin regular meeting for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Feldman,
Present.
Councilmember Meyer,
Present.
Councilmember Manicchio,
Here.
and Councilmember Fields Twill.
Here.
And Supervisor Levenberg.
Here I am.
We have Supervisor and Town Board announcements.
Thank you. I will get started with some announcements. Austin's celebration of Black History Month continues with many events scheduled around town through the end of the month and into March too. Bethany Arts Community will be holding a paint and poetry jam this Friday, February 25th from 7 p.m. to 9 with spoken word artists and paint artists creating art together, bringing each other's works to life. That sounds phenomenal. The Austin Public Library is celebrating Black superheroes this week and next week also with a showing of Black Panther tomorrow, Wednesday, February 23rd at 6 p.m. in the teen room. I hear there will be pizza. And their first Black superheroes showcase in the children's room on Monday, February 28th at 4:15 p.m. There will be graphic novels, comics, and artwork featuring lesser known superheroes, as well as trivia, a scavenger hunt, and much more. Also tonight, as in right now, the Austin branch of the NAACP is hosting the fourth in a series of 4 special Zoom events for Black History Month. This and even more events are featured in my supervisor's update under Celebrating Black History Month. If poetry, paint, or superheroes are not your faves, check it out. Tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, February 23rd at 5 p.m., our representative to the County Board of Legislators, Catherine Borgia, who also happens to now be the chair of the Board of Legislators, congratulations, Catherine, will be sitting down with Westchester County Executive George Latimer for a virtual chat on the Westchester County Facebook page. Submit your questions in advance to communications@westchestergov.com or via the Facebook Live comments during the event. The Westchester County Facebook page is public, so you do not need a Facebook account to participate in the event. Just visit www.facebook.com/westchestergov at 5 p.m. tomorrow. You can get right on. We are happy to report that the Austin Boat and Canoe Club's Friday Talks are back with a presentation this Friday, February 25th at 7:30 p.m. This Friday's theme is the state of the Hudson River fish, led by Dr. George Jackman, who is the Senior Habitat Restoration Manager for Riverkeeper. That is it for my announcements. I can launch right into my administrative report on town operations unless my colleagues on the board have any announcements to add. And seeing and hearing heads shaking in this direction, I shall continue on. Administrative report. Last week, the Town Parks Department began the unfortunate but real demolition of the Rubin House at Cedar Lane Park. We were very sad to see the Rubin House go, but unfortunately, the house was in an advanced state of disrepair and has actually been for some time. So it was the only viable option at this point. The Parks Department completed the bulk of the demolition last week. I think they may actually have completed everything by today. We thought the dog park was going to have to be closed again, but it seems that is not the case. So we are happy to report the dog park will be back open regular hours. At last Tuesday's town hall meeting, we had a presentation on the draft of our new comprehensive plan, Sustainable Austin. Later on in tonight's agenda, we have a resolution to open the public hearing on our comprehensive plan at our next legislative session, March 8th. But no need to wait. It's not too early to start submitting your comments. A comment form will be open on the project website, which is sustainableaustin.com through the end of this week, February 25th. So please do take the time now to review the draft and start submitting your comments. Yesterday and today, town staff members have been participating in the annual Association of Towns Conference, which is being held virtually for the second year in a row due to COVID. At this conference, we heard from elected officials at other levels of government, including U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, New York State Attorney General Letitia James, New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli, and our state's, not our senator, but New York State Senator Liz Krueger regarding funding and programs for local governments. It is so great to hear that at the federal and state level, there is an unprecedented amount of funding available to municipalities through programs like ARPA, AIM, CHIPS, and more. These funding programs are critical to improving our infrastructure while limiting our local tax burden. It does seem like we're going to be getting money in additional money in a number of areas this year. And some of the freezes that had historically been in place or rollbacks have shifted. So that's great news. At this year's conference, there were programs relevant to many of our town departments on topics ranging from cannabis regulations, procurement, and the latest law updates for town clerks, tax receivers, and more. We're looking forward to taking what our staff learned at this conference and putting our new knowledge into practice in the coming months. Speaking of cannabis regulations, our town attorney, Christy Tomadonna, town planner, Valerie Menastra, and Victoria Caffarelli from my office participated in a meeting last week with the New York State Office of Cannabis Management. This meeting was one of many virtual conversations held around the state in anticipation of the cannabis regulations being released in the coming months. We are still quite a ways away from actual licenses being issued, in fact, regulations being in place by New York State to operate dispensaries, but it is good to hear the state is carefully crafting regulations with public health and equity at the forefront. We will be continuing the conversations locally with regard to zoning regulations in the coming months as well. But something important to note is that although the consumption of cannabis is legal in New York State, sales are not legal yet. So please be wary of any establishments or individuals claiming to sell legalized cannabis in New York State because the state has not started issuing licenses. The products being sold are therefore not being regulated and could be dangerous. For information regarding regulations and licenses, please visit cannabis.ny.gov or follow the Office of Cannabis Management on Twitter at NYS_cannabis. And that is it for my administrative report. So unless anybody has any questions, we can move into liaison reports. Do we have any liaison reports from my town board colleagues? I'm feeling like maybe Councilman Minichio, are you unmuting?
Yes, hello. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. I'm the rec advisory liaison, so I was able to walk around with some of the rec board to check Ryder Park to try to get some of our capital projects going as far as fencing and the netting that they're looking for. So we've been walking around the park. The snow's starting to melt and it's a little wet, but we're starting to get that going. So we're working together. So hopefully Ryder Park can get some updated fencing and safety for the parents in this coming baseball season. That's all I have.
Awesome. And I think that they also come up with a date for the annual parade kickoff of the season.
I think they're still working. I don't know exactly what it is yet. I haven't touched base with the JCYS president yet, but
Okay.
is it April?
I'm pretty sure I got an email just today, but if I come up with it before the end of the meeting, I'll mention it. But I think that they have targeted a date. Let's see.
April 9th, April 2nd.
April 9th. Yep. Saturday, April 9th, I think is what they're looking at. I think they're just waiting to get the thumbs up from all of the different participants, but right now that's what it looks good for. Councilwoman
Okay.
Delta.
Yeah, so the Austin Boat and Canoe Club is indeed having their talks again on Friday nights. The doors will open at 7 if people want to get there, and I'll have a cup of coffee or something before it starts at 7:30. Sunsets are still a little late to see at 7, but anyway, early.
Are you supposed to register in advance? I can't remember.
We don't
Ask
have
her.
a register in advance at this point.
Okay.
If it really gets too crowded, I'm sure we'll cut it off. But we're gonna play it by ear for this one. Also, the second Wednesday of the month is the monthly meeting for the Boat and Canoe Club, and anybody can join. So if anybody is interested in joining the Ossining Boat and Canoe Club, they can go to obcc.org, click on membership and learn more. And the voting membership meeting is the second Wednesday of the month, every month. So.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And with that, if there are no more liaison reports, and I think we are going to have to talk about reassigning some of those liaison commitments to Ms. Fields to Wheel very soon, then we can, we'll maybe be hearing from you in the not too distant future. Okay, so with that, I think that we are going to move on to our public comment on agenda items only. So anything that's in any of the resolutions, if you have any comments, please raise your virtual hand and be recognized. And I believe we have somebody who looks like they are Jim Levis, but we know to be Jamie Black. If you want to maybe unmute her, and you can have 4 minutes to address us on any of the resolutions.
So Dana, in terms of the resolutions, I'm not exactly certain, but do we have a resolution to basically enhance the kitchen at the community center? Was that on the agenda, or that's not yet?
We are going to be approving some ordering of equipment for that. Yes, that is something that we have talked about in the past. I think we talked about the bigger picture at many meetings ago. And we're finally at the point where we believe that we can order the equipment that's needed as we continue to refine the overall plan. But it's something that has been worked on by our architect, John Fry, in collaboration with Andy Teese, who is also working with the village on their various plans. So we have some coordination and collaboration going on at the community center.
Okay, so am I mistaken? Were we looking at investing $180 some odd thousand in the community center?
You're not mistaken. Yes, we have been investing money in our senior nutrition program area that we lease from the village. True.
Okay, so with our senior program, how many seniors have the benefit of participating? Do we have like a breakout of town versus village?
We don't have that prepared at this moment in time, but I know our program regularly serves, I think, about 40 seniors on a regular basis with home delivered meals and congregate meals. And the program is open to any residents of the town of Ossining, unincorporated village of Ossining, village of Briarcliff. It's a town general function.
Okay, so if we serve 40 seniors, how many of the seniors do we also support from the village?
So this is it's a town general cost, just to be clear, right? So are coming out of the town general funds, not out of unincorporated funds. That's where the monies are coming from. It's actually a good portion of it. 50% of the total overall cost is coming out of grant funds from CDBG. And I apologize for getting into a back and forth answering of questions, because typically it's just really an opportunity for you to comment. You can comment and ask questions, but it's not really an opportunity for us to go back and forth. So if you have, additional questions, you're free to ask them, but I'm just gonna listen.
All right, so
okay?
Thank you for the back and forth, because I like to be informed. My additional question is, so if it's town general, then basically, and half is coming from a grant, so that's 90,000. And then we have basically probably 30,000 split over village of Ossining, Briarcliff, and then unincorporated area. So I guess I'll talk to Victoria tomorrow. But my question is this, is in terms of enhancing the whole experience for seniors at the community center, do we have an opportunity to sort of use this to revisit the price for annual membership for people who are part of the unincorporated area? Because right now unincorporated has to pay $400 versus village paying 15.
No, that's not the case. You don't have to pay anything to be part of the senior program.
No, but what I'm saying is for the seniors to be able to swim.
Okay, that's a different issue entirely. So,
Yes, but what I'm saying is if we're trying to talk about kind of the seniors and wellness, because we used to spend a lot of time at the community center, because we used to swim, but because we weren't around that much, the amount was pretty prohibitive.
yeah.
But
I'm just saying you're kind of getting into this is not really about the resolution at this point anymore, Jamie. I apologize, but we're happy to talk to you about this offline. Or if you want to, again, talk about it. If you have any further questions about,
I'd love
that,
to speak.
You can
with
ask them later. You can ask them later, but you're up now for time. Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
All right. Is there anybody else who has any comments for the board on the resolutions? All right, hearing none. Let's get into our resolutions, please. Our Deputy Clerk, Martha Quidisaga.
Okay. Approval of minutes, regular meeting, February 8th, 2022. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the February 8th, 2022 minutes of the regular meeting as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion or questions? I think we're going to ask Ms. Fields to be able to abstain since you were not on the board at the time. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions?
Okay. Approval of minutes, special meeting, February 15th, 2022. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the February 15th, 2022 minutes of the special meeting as presented.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Do you want to abstain? Councilwoman fails to, do you want to just unmute and say, yes, I abstain?
Excuse me, yes, I'll abstain because I was not present.
Thank you.
Okay. Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the voucher detail report dated February 22nd, 2022 in the amount of $184,876.74 for 2021 and $592,977.73 for 2022 for a grand total of $777,854.47.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
No second for the voucher
Second,
detail report?
second.
You don't want us to pay our bills? Come on, peeps. Okay,
Second.
thank you. Any questions or discussion? I guess
Nope.
I can just tell you that we have another hefty voucher run this week as we are chewing up our IMAs with the Village of Austin for 2021 and also making our monthly payments on the 2022 IMAs and health insurance. And these are always large bills. I don't know if our budget director wants to add anything for this voucher detail report about some of the big items.
No,
No.
I think you just about covered it, but Councilwoman Feldman, did you have a question?
Yeah, I remember when I was reading it, I thought I saw a duplication of something, but I'm not remembering it now, so.
Well, some things may
I'll
look
go
like
over it.
they're, yeah, there could be some things that look like they're duplications, but it could just be the same description for, say we're paying a couple bills to Staples that, is the same topic of item.
Yeah, it was a month duplication, so I'll revisit it. I'm sure it's fine. I'll revisit it and go over it with you now.
All right. So with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you.
Austin Volunteer Ambulance Corps Agreement 2022 to 2024. Resolved following the approval of the Mid-Hudson Ambulance District MHAD Board, the town board of the town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign the emergency medical transport agreement with the Austin Volunteer Ambulance Corps Incorporated on behalf of MHAD effective January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
At its last meeting, the Board of the Mid-Hudson Ambulance District approved another 4-year contract with OVAC as the operator of emergency medical transports for the district. As is past practice, the Austin Town Supervisor signed the agreement on behalf of the district, so this resolution will authorize me to do so. Any questions or discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Grateful for the wonderful service that we get from OVAC.
Planning Board resignation. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austin hereby accepts with regret the resignation of Jesus Lopez on the Town Planning Board effective February 4th, 2022.
Motion?
So moved. With
Second.
regret.
So we are sorry to see Jesus Lopez go, but are grateful for him stepping up first as alternate and then as a full member when Ching-Hua Chen resigned last year. We understand that volunteering on a board like the planning board is a very large time commitment. So we appreciate Jesus stepping down as a result of other time commitments that he has right now. Questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Again, with regret, thank you.
Proposal for assistance in preparation of the MS4 annual stormwater report for program year 2021 to 2022 is all that the Town Board of the Town of Austin accepts a proposal from AI Engineers, Dolph Road of Engineering Division, Elmsford, New York, for assistance in preparation of the MS4 annual stormwater report for program year 2021 to 2022 at a fee of $3,000.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Town is required by state law to complete an annual stormwater report, and every year we have turned to our experts at Dolph Rotfeld Engineering to help us in the development of it. We are grateful for their expertise and look forward to preparing another stellar report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Additional services for 2022, Dolph Road of Engineers, McCarthy Drive Construction Administration. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Austin authorizes an additional expenditure of $60,000 for construction administration services on the McCarthy Drive Road rehabilitation and water main replacement with AI Engineers Company, Dolph Road of Engineering Division, Elmsford, New York, with hourly rates for necessary personnel set forth in the proposal dated December 23rd, 2020.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
So Dolph Rotfeld Engineers have also been overseeing the construction administration on the McCarthy Drive project. As this project continues into 2022, we need to approve an additional expenditure of $60,000 for these very important services. We are still more than covered in our capital project line with what we borrowed to account for these additional services. Any questions or discussion?
I have a question. Have they given us any type of data completion, possible data completion?
I do not believe we currently have that, but we do anticipate it will be in early spring.
Thank you.
They're very well on their way. They're getting close to done, but the weather obviously caused them to have to stop, which we anticipated that was going to happen, but there have been a number of setbacks that I have to admit have had to do with some of the utilities and the original construction of the road and how complicated it was because it wasn't really built to, I don't know if it was built before zoning or planning or whatever, but it was a mess. And it has taken a long time to clean up the mess that was there created originally by the original builders in whatever fashion it was originally built. So again, Con Ed, the utilities, and I'm very sorry for the, there's been a lot of outages recently on McCarthy. We have reached out to Con Ed to see if we can get some help with the issues that have taken place, but they're not, much to the disbelief of many, they're not actually related to the construction. They're just illuminated by the construction because as we're going through fixing things up, we're finding out where some of the problems did lie. But we've been told by Con Ed that it was not, many of the issues that were happening with the service to that road were not as a result of the construction again.
All right. So is that why our engineering estimates off, so far off? I mean,
I think that because they are giving us
manager.
oversight for the project.
Right, the project
And so
manager.
it's just the timing that's off. In other words, again, a lot of these issues that have arisen have caused the project to go on, and we have this oversight that is happening on the project, and this is going to be paying for the continued oversight that's lasting longer than was originally predicted. And again, I think it's just, with a lot of these projects, when you start digging things up, there's a lot of cans of worms underground that we find.
Yeah.
So we did build in a contingency, and that's kind of what we're tapping into at this point. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Proposal, Trimark Food Service Equipment, Supplies and Design. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin accepts the proposal dated February 1st, 2022 from Trimark Food Service Equipment, Supplies and Design for kitchen equipment for the senior nutrition program, which pricing established by Sourcewell contract number 091918-TMK for a price not to exceed $184,545.
Motion?
So moved.
second,
So as we're discussing before, the town received a grant to renovate the senior nutrition program kitchen through the Community Development Block Grant Program, which is a federal grant administered by Westchester County. In order to meet our grant deadlines, we need to spend down the grant by purchasing the required kitchen equipment for the renovation. Since we are able to order this equipment off of the Sourcewell Purchasing Consortium, we are confident that we are getting competitive pricing without needing to undergo additional administrative steps. Once the equipment arrives, which we anticipate will take at least another few months because of all the supply chain issues that we know everyone is facing, we will get started on construction. And I know that the senior nutrition program is very anxious for that to happen, because there will be a great deal of improvements to the kitchen, which will make it much easier for them to service our seniors on a daily basis, not including weekends. So anybody have any questions? Discussion? All those in favor?
aye,
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Okay, resolution, draft comprehensive plan. Whereas for more than 2 years, the town board, with the assistance of the steering committee comprised of town residents, stakeholders, and officials, has been preparing a new comprehensive plan with public input and participation. And whereas a draft comprehensive plan has been completed entitled Sustainable Austining, dated January 27, 2022. And whereas the town board is the only involved agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SEQRA, for the review and adoption of the comprehensive plan. And whereas the town's consultant planners have prepared an SEQRA full environmental assessment form part 1. And whereas the town board desires to circulate the draft comprehensive plan to other interested agencies and begin the public hearing process. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby declares itself lead agency pursuant to SEQRA, and be it further resolved pursuant to General Municipal Law 239-M, applicable town staff to circulate notice of the town board's consideration of the draft comprehensive plan and all applicable documents and information to the Westchester County Planning Board and those municipalities including the town. And be it further resolved, the town board hereby calls for a public hearing to be open on the draft comprehensive plan at its legislative session on March 8th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom conferencing in accordance to Chapter 1 of the laws of 2022 and Executive Order 11.3. And be it further resolved, in addition to being available on the town's website, www.sustainableaustining.com, a copy of the draft comprehensive plan shall be available in the town clerk's office for review and inspection during normal business hours.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
second,
As I shared earlier in my administrative update, we heard last week from our comprehensive plan consultants, WXY, at our town hall meeting about the current draft. The public hearing will open at our next legislative meeting, but we are accepting online comments now. Please read the draft and get commenting. We are excited to hear your feedback. Any questions or discussion about the resolution? All those in favor of setting the public hearing?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right. Next up, I think we're at correspondence to be received and filed.
Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby accepts the following correspondence. Mark Pachui, 51 Croton Dam Road, zoning board the ZBA resolution and transcript from February 7th, 2022, and Town Planning Board minutes from January 19th, 2022.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? We are up to visitor recognition on any topic whatsoever. And you have 4 minutes if you'd like to be recognized. No back and forth. I'm not answering questions. Going once, going twice. All righty then. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn for advice of counsel, personnel, and contracts
Adjourn into executive session.
into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week with a work session on Tuesday, March 1st. Have a great night, everyone. And for all of you school students and teachers and families, I hope that you are enjoying a restful break from school this week. See you all next week. Have a great night. Thanks.